So, chat, I wanted to talk about something that admittedly I'm a little bit late to, but it's something that I've seen a lot of discourse over the course of the past couple weeks since this incident took place. And it's something I've wanted to comment on because some of the reactions I've seen to this situation have been pretty insane. So I kind of wanted to give my thoughts and just kind of, share what I think about this, the incident, as well as the reaction to said incident. We're going to be talking about a content creator known as Vlad. I think it's Vlad NCL. I don't know if that's supposed to be like a name and like NCL isn't right, but I'm going to say Vlad NCL because I don't know if that's like a name and there's a certain way you pronounce it or whatever. Vlad NCL. That's what I'm going with, okay? And Vlad NCL is a pretty popular content creator. We can see they have 2.14 million subscribers on YouTube. I got to be honest, prior to this incident taking place, I had never even heard of them before. And I'm willing to bet that some of you guys probably haven't heard of them as well. So let's go ahead and let's read their Wikitubia really quick before we get into like the meat of this topic. It says Vlad NCL, Vladimir Nikola. I probably butchered their name. Vladimiros. Yeah, Vlad. Okay, I'm calling them Vlad. Is a Cypriot Russian YouTuber known for dressing up as a woman to troll people on Omegle. So we've seen creators like, for example, Finster get criticized for this before. This whole content of like baiting people into thinking like they're like a woman and then like revealing to them, oh, I'm actually a guy and haha, you're gay, that sort of thing. Um, there's a lot of people who are understandably very critical of that kind of content because whether intentional or not, it really feeds into the whole narrative that a lot of transphobes have that like trans people are like, you know, predatory and they're trying to prey on, straight men to try and, get them to have sex with them and stuff like that. It's the whole trap thing, right? And so understandably, a lot of people are like super hypercritical of this content. And I do think it causes a lot of like genuine harm to the perception of the trans community by people outside of that community who aren't in the know and stuff like that. So, yeah, this is not something that I approve of. Having said that, I will say that what we're about to discuss and what happened to this person, whether you are a fan of their content or not, or the kind of content they create, what happened to them shouldn't have happened to them. And you'll see what I mean in a bit. Vlaster first started his YouTube channel doing skits and parody videos before experimenting with other content over 4 years afterwards. 2021 started doing Omega videos of him dressed up as a woman and trolling people that encountered him. He also started doing pranks dressing as a woman in public and also started doing videos investigating different parts of the world as a woman in 2024. It says they're married to someone named Samantha. On June 21st, 2026, this is the incident we're going to be talking about here. On June 12th, 2026, Vlad was live streaming in Ireland and a woman dressed as a woman passing by people, taking selfies with fans. About 43 minutes into the stream, he approached a random guy. That's not an accurate representation of what actually happened. Anyway, we'll see what actually happened. Trolling him with his girl voice. After switching back to his normal voice, the guy first pushed Vlad away, then runs up to him and punches him in the jaw. Vlad rushes away and minutes later reports the assault to the local police. According to the cameraman, a police report has been submitted. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We have a situation here where Vlad is out in public, dressed as a woman, and in the process of live streaming this encounter with this random individual who they say that Vlad approached them. That's not true. This person, as you'll see in the video, was catcalling Vlad. Um, Once they realized that they were a man, they like assaulted them, which is like really shitty. But anyway, let's go ahead and let's take a look at the video. I have the video pulled up here. So this is the clip. It says YouTuber Vlad NCL assaulted on first live stream in Ireland. Here we go.
I'm leaving tomorrow. It's my last day. So possibly one more stream.
So there they are. They're dressed up as a woman. This is like a lot of people have been quick to point out they're not actually trans. They do this bit where they dress up as a woman to try and rage bait people into getting angry, that sort of thing. And they've made it very clear they're not actually trans or whatever. This would be more like a femboy type situation, or even like a cross dresser sort of slash. Well, no, not quite drag queen, but like a cross dresser type situation. So here they are, they're streaming, they're just kind of minding their own business. Here's the guy. This is the guy right here. And as you can see, he starts catcalling Vlad.
No, it's YouTube.
You're on TikTok, eh?
No, it's YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah, it's
Yup,
YouTube.
YouTube. Active. Where are you from?
So he catcalls him, and he comes over and starts, like, you know, casually having a conversation with him.
I'm Russian, you?
Russian.
Yeah.
Oh, nice, eh? How old are you?
33, you?
23, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm 20. Nice to meet
Cluster Skulls, welcome to the chat. Vlad is a bodybuilder too, but he's making videos that shows what women go through. Yeah, it's complicated, right? Because his claim is that he's doing this content to show what women and also trans women go through in terms of like getting catcalled and being harassed and stuff like that. I gotta be honest, I think that this is more like rage bait type content. Like it's the whole like, gotcha, you're gay because I'm a man and you found me attractive. I think it does unintentionally like highlight these kinds of issues of like, you know, um trans women being assaulted and, you know, women being catcalled and stuff like that. I do think that it highlights that, but I think if we're being completely honest about the intentions with this content, this is just rage bait content. That's what this is meant to be.
What's your name?
Natalie.
Natalie, yeah?
Yeah.
So that's why I said, like, I think the content in itself is very problematic content, and I think that as a whole, it's like it does a lot of harm to the perception of the trans community from people outside of the community. Having said that, I still don't think that this person deserves to be assaulted.
Oh, no, Natalie.
I'm going to the bars.
Going to the bars. How many views we got? Oh, famous, eh?
A little. Just a little, yeah.
Oh, what are you going? Are you going home tonight?
Sorry, what?
You want to come home with me tonight?
Oh, no.
Dang, dude's just like, he's laying it on thick. You want to come home with me tonight? Damn, he was really feeling him.
Are you boy or girl?
I'll let you guess.
So that's the moment, okay? That's the moment where he reveals that he's a man, and the guy does not take too kindly to it. At first, he pushes him away, and then you'll see what happens.
Fuck, bro, chill. Bro, chill.
Punches him right in the jaw.
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck.
What's like apparently like really shitty about this as well is apparently this guy just had jaw surgery and his jaw was still healing. So when your jaw's healing from jaw surgery, getting punched in the jaw, not great. Not great.
Bro, shit. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Oh.
Okay, you guys get the point. Yeah, that shouldn't have happened. Like, I don't care what you think about Vlad's content or whether their content is rage bait, whether you believe that they're actually doing advocacy for bringing attention to, you know, the kind of things women have to deal with and stuff like that, and trans women have to deal with, to each their own. But whether you like their content or not, there's no excuse for this whatsoever. This should not have happened to them. And that's what makes, like, for me, the response to this so fucking insane is that there are people who are actually trying to like justify this. I mean, you have the usual suspects, the people who are, you know, anti-LGBT, anti-trans, anti, you know, femboys and stuff like that. And they've got their really bigoted opinions on it. But like some of the people, I gotta be honest, some of the people that I've seen having opinions that basically say, oh, fuck this person, who cares what happened to them, no sympathy, like, it kind of blew my mind. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at some of the responses here. We have the obvious ones, like this person here. This wasn't a random punch, it was retaliation for sexual abuse. I'm sorry, what? Like, where was the sexual abuse? Like, they're just out in public existing, dressed up as a woman, but they're like out in public existing. And like, the guy catcalled them. They didn't approach them. They weren't trying to proposition them or anything. The guy catcalled them. So how is that? I swear the internet is just full of like brain dead weirdos. I will never understand the logic here. How is this sexual abuse? I don't understand. Then we have this person who says deserved catfishing should be illegal. How about no? I don't think this is deserved under any circumstances whatsoever. And I think it's very caveman brained to think that this is acceptable. I mean, for fuck's sake, we have a situation here where a guy is so insecure about his own sexuality that instead of having a normal human reaction to this type of situation, which I feel like most people, when they were in this situation, like let's say you're hitting on a girl and you're like really attracted to them, you just meet them in public and you're like, super flirtatious or whatever, and then you find out, oh, by the way, like I'm actually like a femboy, or I'm actually like, dressed in drag, or something like that, or even in a situation where it's like, hey, they're trans. I know this is something that, like, people in the trans community don't like to talk about, but whether you like to acknowledge it or not, like, genital preferences are a thing. So there are people who just like, they're not attracted to women with penises and they're not attracted to like men with vaginas, and that's fine. It doesn't make you transphobic to, not be attracted to those kinds of things. Just like, us as queer people don't get to choose what we're attracted to. Straight people, they don't get to choose the same thing, right? They are attracted to what they are attracted to. So I know that's something that a lot of people in the trans community are a little bit uncomfortable of acknowledging, but yes, genital preferences are a thing when it comes to, dating and stuff like that. But anyways, the point that I was trying to make here is that we have someone who's so insecure about their sexuality that instead of saying, hey, you know what, my mistake, I'm not really into that sort of thing, but you have a nice night, right? I feel like that would be the normal reaction to someone who's not attracted to trans women or femboys or, men in drag, or, whatever you want to call it, right? If you're not attracted to that sort of thing, a perfectly normal reaction is just like, hey, you know what? It's not my thing, but you have a nice night, and then you just move on. You don't get to go caveman smash and just like bash somebody in the chin just because you're insecure about your sexuality. Like, this is dumb. This is absolutely fucking dumb. Next, we have this sick fuck man cannot out on the streets sexually assaulting unsuspect. How is this sexual assault? They're the one that got assaulted, and you're accusing them of sexual assault. I don't get it. He got what he deserved. Absolutely not. We should not be advocating for dipshits on the streets just going around and assaulting people because they're insecure about their own masculinity. Absolutely not. So a man dresses up as a woman, has actual muscles, goes around real life catfishing men, gets punched in the face, seems about right. Of course, that would be the take of somebody with MAGA in their name. Like, holy shit. Unfucking real. But this is the part that really tripped me out. We had members of the trans community who were actually trying to, like, make excuses for this, what happened to them. This person says, this is not a trans person, by the way. It's a Russian bodybuilder who tries to get catcalled by cis men, and when he finally does, he puts on a deep voice for shock value. And again, I do think that this kind of content is harmful to the perception of the trans community. I do think that this kind of content does cause genuine harm to the community. That doesn't mean that I think that they should be assaulted, though. He also does this on Omega and shit, so I don't feel bad. When you make statements like this, even if internally you genuinely don't feel bad for what happened to them, this is the kind of thing that you really shouldn't vocalize, because bad faith actors are going to look at this and they're going to say, hey, I've seen a bunch of, trans people say that, it's okay to assault people when they're not actually trans. So if I suspect that somebody is just, a man posing as a woman, I'm just gonna, slug on them anyway. And then you're gonna have them, oh, that's an actual trans person. Oh, I'm sorry. I just assaulted them because I thought it was okay, because I thought they were just a man pretending to be a woman for shock value. It's like you can't. You hear a lot of people on social media for various different topics use the term slippery slope, but this is like a genuinely slippery slope. You shouldn't brush off this kind of like caveman behavior of, yeah, it's okay to hit them because they're not a real trans. Like, come on, this is ridiculous. And then one more I want to highlight here. This is the streamer Just a Minx. While this is transphobic violence, I agree. Whether you think that Vlad is trans or not, which apparently they're not, this is indeed transphobic violence, because you know exactly that's what this person thought when they assaulted him, is they thought that this was a trans woman, and they were like being caught in a trap or something like that. So this is true. This is transphobic violence. We shouldn't feel sorry for this guy. Uh, no, I think that we probably should still disavow what happened to them. He goes around intentionally trying to shock people with, haha, I'm actually a deep voice man for comedic purposes, using the trans community for money. Loki, he deserved a hit in the head. No, I don't think so. It's just so bizarre to me that, like, people will be very outspoken against harassment and like violence against like people, and these kind of like attacks and stuff like that. They will be very outspoken against it, but then when it happens to someone that they don't like, whether the reason for not liking them is valid or not, then all of a sudden there's, oh, it's okay to assault them now. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, like I don't agree with that. If you're gonna be someone who's progressive and spoken out against these kind of things, you have to be consistent, even if it's someone that you dislike, again, for valid reasons or not. So yeah, it's one of those things where I'm just like, look, no, like I think that this Vlad person's content is harmful. I think that it basically supports very harmful stereotypes of the trans community, being traps and trying to trap, straight men into like, sexual situations and stuff like that. I do think that that is indeed harmful. But having said that, I don't think that it's okay to assault someone who does that. And I don't think that we should be showing like, oh, no sympathy for them, who cares? Like, no, this is just wrong, like, period.